beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're talking about the gothic psychological thriller The Turning, and again there will be spoilers, so you may want to exit this video if you intend on seeing this movie and don't want me to ruin it for you. So apparently this is one of the many movie adaptations of a certain Henry James's horror novella entitled The Turning of the Screw, which the creative well in Hollywood must be really dry for them to keep making the same movie over and over again, as though the storyline is going to change the second, third, or fourth time around. Can you already tell how I feel about this movie just by my intro? Anyhow, the movie relies very heavily on the very generic, at this point for me, setting of a beautiful yet creepy mansion tucked away in the forest or in an area devoid of people. There are statues of gargoyles outside the house, for heaven's sake. Then of course the house is kept up by an old British live-in housekeeper, who of course butts heads with the newly hired young governess, Kate, who begins to hear voices and experience other strange things her first night in the house. All of these elements are used in one form or another in movies like Crimson Peak, Jane Eyre, Amityville Horror, and several others. All that aside, I think the acting was okay. The little girl who plays Flora, I believe her name is Brooklynn, did an excellent job in her role. She's a rising star in my opinion. Her brother Miles, played by Finn, who is in Stranger Things and It, did an okay job. This was not his best work. As far as the storyline goes, I was trying my best to refrain from saying the movie wasn't that good just because I didn't understand it. However, it was hella confusing. This was one of the very few times I got impatient in the middle of a movie because I didn't know where the story was going. I don't like predictable movies, and I wouldn't say this movie was predictable. However, it had no direction. There are some movies in which the storyline isn't linear, but in the end, all the pieces of the puzzle fit together nicely. The storyline of this movie, however, felt all over the place. I gathered that Kate took the job as the governess because she was trying to be for Flora what her mother was not for her. But was Kate crazy, or was the house really haunted? Was her mother psychic? Was Kate herself psychic? And what was up with Miles's love of spiders? Was he possessed by Quint when he nearly strangled one of his schoolmates and when he walked into Kate's room while she was in the tub? Or was he just being a teenager? And what did the mannequins have to do with anything? And then when the movie finally ended, I sat there waiting for the real ending after the credits. In other words, it ended abruptly. No real conclusion or explanation of what all of that was about. And let's talk about how this movie is supposed to be a psychological thriller, and yet it wasn't that scary. The scare factor in this movie hinged on the sound effects. In other words, if the movie was muted, it wouldn't be scary at all, in my opinion. I'd rate this movie a 5 out of 10. Perhaps the movie was intended to be confusing, but it didn't work for me. A story should have a point, and this story simply didn't. Thank you so much for watching. Give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and feel free to subscribe as well. I have several more movie reviews which are linked below for your enjoyment. Have a great one, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
No talking when our bodies touch, caught up in these X's and these O's, like whoa, 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 whoa.